So this is the 2008 Airstream Classic 31 that we've been looking at. Our goal is to make this as roomy and bright and airy as we possibly can. We don't know what we're doing with this yet, but we know that we're probably going to be taking this dinette out and doing something that maximizes the room here in the living room / kitchen. We do plan on putting in a different floor because it does have carpet in areas. One more thing we're going to do with Hensley. This is why we picked this layout. Not exactly like our Class A, but really similar. Across from the bathroom, this has a good sized closet that we're going to convert. I'm sure you can guess what we're going to convert this into. But we're going to convert it into a bunk / play area for Hensley. These are all tentative plans. Any of this could change, but that's what we were looking for when we got this Airstream. That's what we wanted. And to get all that done in 31 feet, we're pretty pumped. We were okay with an 08. We wanted something newer-ish. It has very little use. I'll be totally honest. Like, I can tell by the inside the amount of wear and tear. This has been used very little. As far as inspection, some things we checked and some things to look for. These are the biggies. You can inspect every tiny door to see if it opens right and slides right, all that kind of stuff. But these are the big things we're looking for as far as inspection-wise. You want to check the ACs. This one has 2 ACs. So we got one here that I checked and made sure it worked. And we've got an AC in the living room. I checked it and made sure it worked too. Another perk of this, I really wanted 2 ACs, because usually with 2 ACs from Airstream, you're gonna get 50 amp, which means you can hook up more things. You don't have to worry about the breaker tripping and all that. And if you have 2 ACs, these are louder than the AC in our motorhome. So if you're in the living room area and this one's pretty loud, you've got the option of turning this one off and then turning the one in the back on. And so that makes it, you still get some AC, but it's not quite as loud where everybody's hanging out. So it's nice to have that flexibility, and it's nice to have the backup AC and all that stuff too. And as far as letting in light, I mean, tons of light in here. These windows, you got the upper windows, you've got the lower windows. It wraps all the way around the RV. You've got another window up here. You've got a skylight here. You've got another skylight in the back in the hallway. The bedroom also has 3 windows. Tons of light in this. Light is like one of the biggest factors when it comes to how an RV feels as far as whether or not it's big enough or not. We've been in RVs way bigger than this, but if they don't have light, they don't necessarily feel very big at all. It has exposed metal in the kitchen. Really love that. Love the way it looks. Stainless steel refrigerator, of course the TV. Things we check. You got a convection microwave you need to check, make sure it works. Plumbing is a big deal. We've got the water hooked up outside. Made sure the sinks in both faucets worked okay. Check the stove, make sure the propane worked on the stove. With propane, you also want to check the water heater. You want to check the refrigerator, not only electric, but also propane. Make sure that works. You want to make sure the water works in the shower. Make sure the water works in the sink. Check the toilet. You know, light switches and door handles and stuff like that. I mean, basically if it's like 50 bucks or less to fix, not a big deal. But if something looks a little odd, it's still not a bad idea to take a look at it, because it could lead to other things. Like if you see a spot on the roof that looks a little bit odd, don't just ignore that. It could be a leak, could be a big deal. There could be all kinds of, you know, damage underneath, things like that. I have checked the ceiling. Everything looks good as far as being sealed up top, and I do not see any leaks on the inside here. And so this one has several upgrades. Like we were looking at the bunkhouse 30 BH. But this one has several upgrades that one didn't have. You've got 40-pound propane tanks instead of 30. You've got awnings on the driver's side covering these windows. And you still got your main awning on the passenger side that covers the windows over here. Why is that a big deal? If it's crazy hot, it's awesome to have those awnings because it's blocking the sunlight before it reaches the windows. And believe it or not, that definitely, it can make like a 5 to 10 degree difference having those awnings blocking the sunlight before it makes its way to the RV. And getting back to the 50 amp with the 2 ACs, it's nice to have. This is only 31 feet. You could be okay with 1 AC, but nobody's gonna complain about having too many ACs and it being too cold. So it's nice to have the 2 ACs to have that as an option as well. And of course, you're looking on the outside for dings, scratches, scuffs. I found there are a couple of scratches on this one. You know, like this right here. But there are no major dings. I mean, in 08, you're probably gonna have a few scratches and scuffs on it, and that's okay to me. I mean, these aren't bad enough that somebody's gonna see us. You gotta get within 5 feet to see a lot of this stuff, and that's just not a big deal. Big downside on this one, and we've looked at a lot of Airstreams, so we knew this, we're losing a lot of that storage underneath. There's very little storage in this. This is pretty much all the storage. There's a little bit, there's a couple other small bays. That is pretty much gonna be our storage, as far as the outside storage on the Airstream. We're looking at the different options as far as the tow vehicle. We're not going to talk about that too much until we figure out more, but we've definitely got some ideas that are, you know, some different options on how we could tow this and still have some extra storage, you know, for the Airstream with the tow vehicle rather than, you know, underneath the Airstream. And so the tires, if it's been in storage for a long time, you can pretty much expect that you're gonna have to replace the tires. We expected to replace the tires. We were hoping maybe the tires would make it back to Tennessee and we could replace them there, but that's not even gonna be the case. We gotta get them replaced ASAP because these are pretty rough. There's dry rot, and that's what you'll get when they're in storage a lot. You got dry rot all around the bottom. And then this one especially, it's even kind of knotting out right here. I can see right here where it's knotting out a little bit, and just not safe. The treads are starting to separate. Definitely not a good idea, especially at high speeds. And the worst thing about the tires is not, oh my goodness, I lost a tire. It's that when the tire blows, which it can be dangerous for you towing it too, but when the tire blows, a lot of times it'll damage your RV when you know, everything starts blowing out, and that's the worst. I mean, that could be thousands and thousands of damage. I've seen some serious damage to RVs from tires blowing out, especially at high speeds. Pending something unusual happening, I need Scott's approval. Scott, what do you?
I told him if he wasn't going to buy it, I am. And I don't even need it.
So I'm going to buy it. Pending anything weird going on with the transaction and everything, we're going to get this done. We're going to get it back to Tennessee, hopefully. Okay, so we have bought the RV. The only problem is we need to replace the tires. We've called, well, Scott called a lot too, but probably like 10 different places. And we cannot find anybody that has 4 tires in stock. So we're going to leave the trailer here. We're going to go buy the tires at one place and then bring those tires back here. We're going to hook up the trailer. Then we're going to take the tires we bought, combine with the tires that are in stock, and finally get new tires put on the trailer. I don't know what time we're going to get out of here. Just not anybody that has 4 trailer tires in stock, which blows my mind, but I guess people just replace a tire at a time or something. I don't know. We're in Houston, so I mean, there's a lot of RV/tire replaces around here. But the problem is we don't want to get on the interstate with this at high speeds the way the tires are. So we need to find something we can get to without getting on something high speed. Okay, stop number 1, grab 2 Goodyear tires. We are now going to stop number 2 to take those tires to the trailer, get the trailer, take the trailer, and go get hopefully all 4 tires installed on the trailer and get that thing out of here. We did make it to Walmart, our second Walmart in the last hour. We're gonna see what we can do to get the tires replaced on this. As far as the tires, I mean, I've checked the forums as far as the air forums for Airstreams and stuff, and of course people definitely recommend not going with the cheap Chinese ones. You know, the Goodyears are okay, Michelin's okay. There's a company, I think it was called Maxxis tires is what people really love because it's 10 ply, but we'd have to custom order those. We just can't sit around Houston waiting for tires to come in. We need to get home. So I went with the Goodyear Marathons. You know, they're definitely better than the Chinese. Not as good as maybe as a couple other options, but they'll get us home, and I think we'll be hopefully good to go 15 hours from now when we get home. This is why it's tough to stay healthy on the road. You want to show them our stash, Scott?
Yeah.
Got Doritos and a 4-pack of
This
fries.
is mine.
Whatever, that's all yours.
This is mine. This is mine.
Where's my salad?
Yeah, where's your salad? Oh, I think this is yours.
Yeah, the cookies are mine. Sandwich. I got a 4-pack of Starbucks. We are finally, it was like 2 hours, I'd say, to get behind the tires and get everything done, but we are finally about to hit the road to get back toward Tennessee. We also did not know we were gonna have to help them put the tires on, so that was new. And they didn't even give me a discount for that. They said we were not allowed to pull it in the bay, which is fine, but we just didn't know we were gonna have to get, you know, it's whatever. We got it done.
Yep, all good.
We also, before we came for the inspection, I had the seller know that she needed to make sure there was propane in the tank. She had the water hooked up and we had an electrical source. So those are big deals. You don't want to show up and have none of those things and then waste an hour or two having to drive it somewhere else and hook it up, or, you know, figure out some way to be able to test the things you're going to test. When it comes to inspecting an RV and buying an RV from an individual used, I mean, there's definitely risk there. So you need to kind of gauge that. If you're first time doing that and you've never had an RV, see if you can take somebody with you who at least knows, you know, about the mechanical things, can help you inspect that. There are other options. You can hire outside inspectors in the area to come in and take a look at the RV. I know one time I sold an RV, they had me drop the RV off at Camping World, and then we went halves on what it cost for a full inspection. I think it was 300 bucks. If you looked at several and you're comfortable with a lot of things, you know, it's a good way to save money. You know, honestly, there's less risk probably with a new one or a used one from a dealer, but you can run into problems too with sometimes the used dealers. I mean, they can mask problems. The new ones, you probably need to expect problems with the new one out of the factory. Lots and lots of people have to spend months and months, you know, working out the quirks from the factory. And one other thing I like to do, especially if I'm making a long trip like this, you know, a 13-hour drive, I definitely did not just look at the pictures and say, I'm on my way. I mean, you ask a lot of questions. Sometimes you ask for extra images along with that. You need to do your homework. You need to know the RV, because that's what's going to help you find a deal a lot of the times. This RV did not have great pictures. The description had 4 words. It said, excellent condition, must sell. That's it. That's it. A lot of people would see that description in pictures that didn't look that great and they would move on. But I could look at the pictures and I knew what this RV was. I knew it looked like it had the upgrades for an Airstream. I knew it was the kind of, you know, the layout we wanted. And, you know, just it was what we were looking for. It just wasn't necessarily marketed a whole lot. Finally made it somewhere for the night. Walmart parking lot. I don't know how many hours we drove today, like 8 or 9 at least. Towing smooth. Hardly tell that thing's back there, man. My dad's a diesel truck. He's got a Dodge Ram 2500. And seriously, like, their RPMs don't go up anymore with that thing back there. I mean, it's empty, but still, it's pretty impressive, actually. I mean, it tows really well. I've been really impressed with the way it tows. So, I mean, it's smooth. It's just a long trip. So, we're gonna get some rest tonight. I'm actually looking forward to sleeping here over the Motel 6. So that says a lot, I'd say. And then next video, hopefully I'll be able to show and get Marissa's reaction and see, maybe talk about kind of some stuff she wants to do to the Airstream. And we're really hoping to just make this home for us. But we'll catch you guys later.